Today on Oswego Now, a popular local ice cream spot opens for the season.
And we sit down with the organizer behind Laker Hacks.
But first, an update on the multiple arrest of an Oswego landlord.
This is Oswego Now.
Hello, and welcome to Oswego Now. I'm Julianne Fike.
And I'm Eddie McAlpine.
An Oswego landlord has been arrested again following a history of 2 decades of crimes.
Our reporter Gianna Cowell has more. Gianna?
Thanks, guys. Douglas Waterbury's sexual assault charges date back to 2012. His recent arrest was March 3rd with an Oswego County grand jury charging him with a Class E felony and 2 misdemeanors. Captain Brian Thompson, who is overseeing the case, sat down with me along with one of Waterbury's victims.
Settlement reached between 8 women and Doug Waterbury, a prominent landlord in the city.
Sylvan Beach Amusement Park has been arrested again.
Douglas Waterbury, a landlord in Oswego.
In the last 13 years, infamous Oswego landlord Douglas Waterbury has been charged with stalking, sexual harassment, bribing a witness, attempted rape, and more. He's owned property since 1990 in Oswego, and reports of harassment date back to 1988. In 2019, he settled a lawsuit for $850,000. In 21, he was fined $15,000 for violating a court order to make no contact with his tenants. In 22, he was arrested with 2 counts of second-degree criminal attempt. On April 27th, Waterbury will appear in court for attempted bribing a witness, attempted rape in the 3rd degree, and patronizing for prostitution. Captain Thompson gave me his thoughts.
I think he poses a threat to anyone. Just, from what I know of him and the things he's been accused of, especially in the last few years, people who are committing offenses are typically back out on the street this very same day, leaving them more opportunity to reoffend, and that happens on an almost daily basis around here. So I think they have a right to be angry, especially if you were involved in one of the cases or you're one of the victims.
There was no way I could make my way past him. And there have been incidents where he has been on the property that I live at. He would park when I was part of the court case. He would park across the street from my apartment, chased him off of the property that I live at twice. Once in 2022 in the summer, and once last summer, to young women, impoverished women that would be looking to rent from him. Don't. Just don't.
Captain Brian Thompson says we may never truly know Waterbury's entire victim count as he targets vulnerable women. That's all for me. Now back to the desk.
Thank you, Gianna. Waterbury is not only a landlord in Oswego County, he also owns the Sterling Renaissance Festival, as well as Santa's Workshop in Wilmington, New York, and the Sylvan Beach Amusement Park.
It's been another weather roller coaster this week. I don't know about you, but I'm wondering where spring is. With these temperatures are definitely confusing. Let's go to Mike Neckers for your weather.
Thanks, guys. As you can see here next to me, it's around 51 degrees here in Oswego. Feels exactly like that with some winds around 6 to 10 miles per hour heading west. Nothing too crazy. We take a look around the rest of Oswego County, and it's 57 all across the board. That's in Fulton, Pulaski, and Phoenix. So things are warming up for now, but that may not stay true. Stick around for more. Guys, back to you.
Students at SUNY Oswego are gearing up for a weekend tech event centered around innovation and collaboration.
It's a chance for many to challenge themselves and take on a fast-paced team. Experience, our Jason Rude is in the newsroom. He's been talking to several hackers trying to crack the code. Jason?
This weekend, innovation takes over SUNY Oswego as Laker Hack returns, bringing together students for a 24-hour hackathon focuses on coding, creativity, and collaboration. All majors and skill levels are welcome to attend and work on real projects, attend workshops, and connect with industry professionals. Laker Hack organizer and web developer.
Expectations for the hackathon, we're expecting it to be a lot bigger than last year's, and last year's was pretty sizable. We're expecting about 100 people this year to come in and basically invade Murano. We think that we're living up to it. We have lots of industry sponsors coming to our event, and we have a lot of just cool stuff for a hackathon.
From Major League Hockey to local partners, students won't just compete, they will gain hands-on experience and career building opportunities in a high-energy environment.
So whenever you have a repeat event like this, you always want to make sure that it's not a small amount of asks. But the reason we think that it's worth it is because you get to level up your skills, like a lot. You get to build something actually important to you and your team. You get to just have a blast. There's free food, there's free events, there's free workshops. I can think of at least 6 off the top of my head. And it's a great learning experience and a great way to connect with the community.
From beginners to experienced coders, Laker Hacks offers a space to learn, create, and push boundaries, all in just one weekend. For Oswego Now, I'm Jason Rude.
Thank you, Jason. The event starts at 9 a.m. tomorrow in the Marano Campus Center Auditorium. You can still register at oswego.edu/LakerHacks.
Finals are coming soon and the weather's getting warmer. To all those who are stressed, spell stressed backwards and you get desserts, which is just the type of thing that Bev's Dairy Treats has been whipping up. Bev's has opened back up and lines have started to fill. Bruce Holmstock, class of 1974 here at Oswego, says that once in a while, he and Bev's is his first stop.
About 2 hours away, so every once in a while in the summer when we have a day to ourselves, we'll just drive up. Usually it starts out by driving to Syracuse, and then we figure, well, we're this close to Oswego, let's come up to Oswego.
Yesterday, Bev's social media pages posted about a small fire on the property. We reached out to Bev's and they say that the fire did not affect their building and that they are still open every day from 12 to 8.
Coming up on Oswego Now, we have an exclusive report on some of the technology on the board of the Artemis mission.
It's time to clean out your medicine cabinet. How to do it safely.
Welcome back into Oswego Now. My name is Mike Neckers, and here's your forecast for today. We're going to kick things off with our Spotify forecast. Don't get too used to the heat. I've got a couple things I want to mention there. WrestleMania weekend is coming up. We'll take a look at the forecast for this Saturday and Sunday as well as our 5-day. We'll kick things off with our Spotify forecast. Have you ever seen The Rain by Creedence Clearwater Revival? I'm asking this question because I see it on my phone. I see it in the forecast, but when I go outside, it's beautiful and sunny. I'm not sure why it's raining. We're going to figure out right here. First of all is Virga. This is the phenomenon where you can see water falling from clouds, but it does not make it to the ground. It evaporates in the air before it makes its way to the ground. One of the many reasons. Another reason is lake effect. We normally put that together with lake effect snow. It can also impact other sorts of precipitation. And last but not least, radar limitations. Believe it or not, birds can impact radar readings and throw things off and maybe say that there's stuff in the air when there's really not, because birds are migrating back up north here. With that said, we do have some cold weather incoming over the next couple of days. As you can see here, right across the Midwest, we've got a cold front coming through with all sorts of thunderstorms. That's today, right now. Looking into tomorrow, it's going to move further east along the United States. You can see those thunderstorms are going to start to die down just a little bit. And then getting on to Sunday, this is where it's going to impact us, as you can see, right over the entire Northeast, New York, all the way up to Maine, getting down to Pennsylvania as well. So pack your umbrellas for Sunday. It's going to be a little bit rainy later on this weekend. Next thing we're going to look at is the WrestleMania forecast for Saturday. As you can see, a very high and a very low. Could be anywhere in there. Expecting it to be a little warm with some rain coming in later throughout in the day. Let's take a look at the match of the day there as well. It's going to be Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu in an unsanctioned match at WrestleMania. Now looking on to Sunday, little tighter between 42 and 31 degrees, but we're going to have a lot of showers on Sunday in the match of the day there, of course. Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar should be a great WrestleMania weekend. And last but not least, let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. Already mentioned Saturday and Sunday. Monday, things are going to cool down from that cold front and then heat up just a little bit Tuesday and Wednesday going into next week. That's all for my forecast. Eddie, Julianne, back to you.
Thanks, Mike. The AVATAR program, standing for Virtual Astronaut Tissue Analog Response, launched alongside the recent Artemis II mission. will lead the game-changing developments on Earth and in science exploration. Our reporter Alejandro Dickens was able to speak with a key scientific mind behind the technology used in the Avatar initiative.
The Artemis II crew are the first humans to fly around the moon in over 50 years and have traveled farther from the Earth than any other human before. An experiment called the Avatar program was launched alongside them. Dr. Geraldine Hamilton led the team at Harvard University that developed the organs-on-chips used in the Avatar program and was the co-founder of Emulate, a biotech company based in Boston, created to further develop the chips from a lab experiment into a successful product and to commercialize the technology.
So these tiny chips, they're elastomeric polymer, which means it's all flexible and bendy. These chips allow us an insight and a window into human biology, and we can recreate it with great fidelity. That's the beauty of it.
Emulate's first mission was a NASA launch in 2018 to the space station.
To know, not only watch it again, it's not quite the same from afar than at the launch pad, but to know that the chips were once again, that the work we did all those years ago is being continued by a new team now, and it's just incredible.
While students on campus study biology on Earth, looking to the future, you can now expect to see discoveries from the Avatar program in space. I'm Alejandra Dickens, Oswego Now.
Find more exclusive unseen images from the launch and a full interview with Dr. Hamilton on oswegonow.net.
They can be found in your own bathroom and can pose serious dangers. Our own Emily Mike has the latest on prescription drug safety. Emily?
Opioids are a factor in over 80% of overdose deaths in New York, and around 8% of those opioid-related deaths are from prescription drugs. Now, these dangers can be found in your own home, and when was the last time that you checked your medicine cabinet? Today is National Clean Out Your Medicine Cabinet Day, and I'm here with Tricia DeWolf, the Assistant Dean of Students at SUNY Oswego for Alcohol and Drug Education. Tricia, can you tell me a bit about how to dispose of prescription drugs safely?
Sure, thanks, Emily. So one of the easiest ways that SUNY Oswego students can keep themselves safe, keep drugs out of our waterways, keep them out of the hands of young children, and just lower substance use in general is by using the doTERRA drug deactivation bags.
Here, can you kind of take me through it a bit?
Absolutely. So they're safe, effective, and very easy to use. So all you would need to do is open the pouch. You do not have to touch anything in the pouch. And for demonstration purposes, I have some fake pills. So you can use pills, capsules, gels, liquids, whatever medications you have. All you have to do is pour your medications into the pouch. You're going to fill the pouch up halfway with warm water and let the pouch do its magic. You may hear or see some fizzing, some bubbling. That's completely normal. You want to leave it open for about 20 to 30 seconds. Can you hear that little sound? Once you've waited 20 or 30 seconds, all you have to do is then seal up your pouch, and you can move the substance around vigorously. You can give it a little shake and do this for about 10 seconds. This is going to deactivate the medications inside the bag, and then you are free to throw it away in a normal trash can, and it's that easy.
I had no idea. Thank you so much, Tricia.
You're welcome.
That's how to dispose of prescription drugs safely. With Oswego Now, I'm Emily Mike. Back to the desk.
Thank you, Emily. The drug deactivation bags can be found for free in vending machines in Penfield Library and the Murano Campus Center.
From smaller crowds at events to fewer active members, some of SUNY Oswego student leadership say engagement across campus isn't what it used to be. Clubs that once saw strong turnout are now struggling to bring in students, even for well-planned programs or events. While lower enrollment may play a role, some say the issues go beyond just the numbers.
You know, you have to take into account that our enrollment is lower, and so less students means less students that are available to be engaged. So I think we probably could have anticipated a little bit of a decline, but it feels more than just less students. It feels like we have students, but they're not wanting to come out to events as much as maybe they used to.
That shift is creating challenges for organizers that rely on consistent participation to stay active and visible on campus. Leaders say the decline is not only affecting attendance, but also the future of their organizations. Coming up next on Oswego Now, Eddie and I sit down with a local landlord about how college enrollment affects college housing. Welcome back to Oswego Now. Enrollment is down here at SUNY Oswego, affecting many people, including local landlords.
The price of rent is dropping, but the concern is rising as this trend is putting pressure on property owners. We sat down with Oswego landlord Lee Walker to find out more about the tenant turnover. Joining us now is Oswego landlord Lee Walker. Lee, thank you for joining us. Let's get right into it.
Sure.
Enrollment at SUNY Oswego has gone down in the last few years. How does that directly affect your businesses?
Oh, a lot. It's a huge piece when years ago when enrollment was up. When I first started doing this, I'd fill every house I had. And so this year I was told, I don't know the exact figure, but I hear enrollment's down at least 26%. So it's less kids, and I call students kids because they're all a lot younger than I am. So the student population is shrunk. A lot of kids are doing online classes. The kids aren't coming to town as much and filling up, and there's less kids out there to rent the houses to. So you have to get creative.
What changes have you noticed in the student housing market over the last few years?
Many years ago when I first started, the more bedrooms you had, if you had a two-family house with 4 bedrooms in it each, you'd have 8 kids. You could have up to 8 kids living in it, and that was a big deal. Kids were looking for larger houses, and the more the merrier type deal. And now you're finding that since COVID and enrollment's down, larger houses aren't renting like they used to. Students want 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, maybe 4 bedrooms would be the most. So you got to get creative. And I used to have 4-bedroom houses, and now if you only get 2 or 3 students that would come to you, you do what you got to do to fill your house.
And speaking of those houses, about how many, if you had a number, how many houses do you own? And have you seen a shift in the amount of tenants you've been getting in the recent years?
Sure, in the recent, I don't know the exact amount, and I should know the exact amount, but I rent to approximately between 200 and 300 students. So it's the shift is just, it's less kids for you. You're having vacancies. Last year, my New Year's is not January 1st. My New Year is, I call it Happy New Year, is June 1st for me. That's when the old students leave and the new students come in. Last year, I sat on at least 5 empty houses, which that was unheard of 10 years ago. Prior to COVID, you could rent, that's how I started. I started with 1 house and ended up with many, many more. And every year I would fill, if I had 10 houses, I'd fill 10 houses. And I would tell my wife, if I had 2 more houses, I could rent them. Now that's not the case. So I sat on 5 houses last year for the whole year.
Are you changing your approach on how you market your houses to students?
Sure, we've gotten, we're doing websites. We have a website for our houses. We're advertising. I can't tell you the name because I can't think of it off the top of my head. It's a site that we pay a company that helps us rent our houses, and then they call and through an app, and then they call us. And so you got to get creative, get the word out there. You talk to the students that you have and say, hey, can you help me out and help me rent my houses? Do you know some kids that would want to stay? And it seems to be harder and harder.
All right, Lee, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Walker says that he may look to downsize in the near future and potentially sell some of his properties to avoid holding vacant homes.
He owns properties here in Oswego that has not been leased for the first time in 20 years, signaling a shift in what was once a steady business. Next on Oswego Now, Bigfoot is coming to Fulton, why the people say that the legend might be real.
Coming up in sports, an unlikely hero leads Oswego lacrosse, and Jerry McNamara starts shaping his Syracuse staff. Good evening and welcome to Oswego Now Sports. I'm Dominic Ciccarelli. Oswego State men's lacrosse bounced back Saturday after 2-game skid, and as our James Fitzpatrick tells us, the offense came from an unlikely source.
Drives his way through and he buries it! He buries it. 3 words we heard a lot Saturday afternoon.
Following a 26-9 victory over SUNY Ken, the Oswego State Lakers jumped to 8-3 on the season. It was quite the performance offensively, and also quite the shock, as the Lakers' scoring came from an unusual name.
I mean, the shots were falling, and I just felt like it was like an adrenaline rush, and I just thought, I got one, let's go for two. Last year I got two, and when I finally got to three, I was like, all right, finally got there.
You heard that right. Ryan Rogers, who before Saturday only scored twice in his collegiate career, scored a hat trick. The coaches were shocked.
We actually gave him a little bit of an opportunity to get some more runs than he usually would, and he took full advantage of it. And, when he got his shots, he stuck them. So I was really happy for him. I think if you saw the reaction after his first goal, the whole sideline blew up. It was pretty great.
Even the announcers were shocked.
Significant contributor offensively for the team in the past few years when looking at his stats, but coming in the game and just seeing how hot he was and just see the way he was just seeing the defense so well, able to at least cut towards the hole and respond right openings. I mean, I just kind of got excited, especially when he managed to get the hat trick.
However, Rogers says it all stems from his confidence in himself and his team.
I trusted in myself, I trusted in my teammates, and I trusted in my coaches. So it just worked out the best it could.
The Lakers will be back in action Saturday afternoon in Oneonta in a game that has huge playoff implications. Reporting for Oswego Now, I'm James Fitzpatrick.
After that hat trick, Rogers is now up to 5 goals in his collegiate career. He'll look to make it 6 in Oneonta on Saturday. Sticking with Oswego lacrosse, we had the opportunity to sit down with Laker of the Month, Emmett Starowicz. Emmett is a midfielder who embodies what it means to be a team player. But don't just take my word for it. Listen to the man of the hour himself.
I'm thankful for, my coaches, my professors, my advisors for what they've done to me here because they've built me to become the student athlete I am today. So we had a very good senior class last year, which helped us a lot. Helped me as a freshman and other freshmen in my class develop. I feel like I came into a role that was needed because we had a lot of goal scorers, so they needed someone to feed them the ball.
Congratulations, Emmett. The Syracuse Orange basketball team have been making some changes to their team under new head coach Jerry McNamara. Ryan Blackwell has been added to staff as Director of Player Engagement. He previously worked with GMAC at Siena as his assistant coach. Also joining from Siena is Ryan Bowery as Director of Operations, the same role he held at Siena. He'll be in charge of budgeting and getting players where they need to go. There's excitement for McNamara in this new role as SU's head coach, but if there's one person rooting for GMAC worth mentioning, it's President Joe Biden. You can see him here showing his support for new head coach on his most recent visit to Syracuse University. Now, back to you, Julianne.
Thanks, Dom. Bigfoot is coming to Fulton. Big Fest will bring people through the mystery of Bigfoot, being hosted at 114 Reserve. Vendors, a stage play, an improv comedy, and speakers will all be there for the celebration.
Speakers Tracy Deacon, Derek Markle, Todd Smith, and the Vogel brothers are sharing their encounters in a research event. Coordinator Brad Gibson's interest in Bigfoot started when he was in 3rd grade, and he spent a lot of his adulthood researching.
While hiking at night, I was paralleled by something that was walking on 2 feet in the dark. It was huge, and I'm a wildlife ecologist, so I'm used to. I've studied a lot of the animals in this area. I know what they sound like, how they act, and deducing it down to what it can be, well, it left me with one choice. I'm pretty sure it was Bigfoot, but.
That's all for our report tonight. Thanks for tuning in.
Make sure to go to oswegonow.net for more. Have a great night, everyone.